So this is an easy one. Declaring matrices is very similar to what you had in declaring arrays. The only thing, again, is you're worried about the number of rows that you're going to have first and then columns. By the way, I always think of it as RC, and remember, I'm dyslexic, but this one I always get right for a change. RC, to me, I'm an old guy. There was a cola product called Royal Crown. It's about 4,000 years old. Or RC, remote control, something like that. It's always rows and then columns. By the way, this is using the stack version of memory, so we're going to have also a way of doing this dynamic memory and using the heap, that the syntax is going to look rather different when it comes to this, but the overall structure is going to look the same. Matter of fact, most of the code that you and I are going over will look exactly the same. So just a heads up, this is not using dynamic memory, this is not using heap memory. We will get into that. This is just the basics when it comes to just getting started with arrays. So from previous experience, you might have had in other programming languages. So just a heads up. I still need a name. I still need a space in between the type and the actual name of the matrix. Make sure it's a well-named matrix so I know what the heck is going on. But other than that, that's about it. Not a lot of difference between this and a 1D or regular array. I should have had this in here, but I wanted to go over it anyway. This looks familiar too, right? When we did arrays. Notice any type that I want. That's the good news. But again, also I'm trying to make sure you understand that now I'm making a matrix. All the same things that you and I talked about with arrays is going to happen with matrices. Is there garbage originally in the set? The answer is yes. Yes, there is. So that's why we have a couple of ways of doing this. As a matter of fact, I showed this one real late in my arrays set of notes, so I'm showing it a little bit earlier in matrices. I can go ahead and spell out values that are in a matrix if I wanted to using the squiggly brace setup. Notice, by the way, this would take care of row 1, and then yes, there is a comma there to let me know that then I'm moving on to row number 2. So I can do that if it's already been preordained on exactly what values are going to be in there. Here we have strings, string of names, or we have a matrix of them. That's fine, okay? Or a character of floor number 1. So how would floor number 1 look like? Well, it would start from 0, 0, which we had here, but notice the number of rows is 2, so I would have 1 and 2, again, but in the last index number would be 1. And then we have from 0 to 9 as our overall. Now remember, from 0 to 9 is 10 elements. So that's how that would look if I were to create this. So be very careful. You know, some question's going to come up that's going to try to trick you about it. I'm just trying to make sure you don't have that. So that's declaring finally all of our different matrices that we can have.